a bunch load of DNA tests were done in Manchester. And 70% of all the DNA tests that were done in Manchester returned adverse results, which means that the people them were not related.
So Manchester, the promo code you use is Kommon Cents, spelled KOMMONCENTS. You get a $5,000 discount off any DNA test with express results.
You want the truth? We got the way. Paternity test just a phone call away. Father, siblings and grandparents too. Find out the youth of a hoe. The home kids online for delivery. You get it in at the pharmacy. Or we could come to you, or you could come to we. And take a 876DNA test. Yes, it had the best. Come get the burden off your chest. The most affordable way to make sure for the right father depend the certificate. 876DNA test. For more info, call us today at 876DNA-TEST. That's 876-362-8378. Or visit our website at 876DNATEST.com. 876DNA-TEST. Know your lineage.
Welcome to the Kommon Cents Podcast. Thank you for joining us. Please like, share, and subscribe as usual. People, we're on Spotify. So be sure to check us out on Spotify at Kommon Cents University. Now we have our intelligent co-host with us, Wita the legend. Wita, how's it going?
Big up, man. It's a great moment.
I'll come back with the moment thing. Q, how's it going, man?
Well, I save all comments at this moment.
Oh, all right. Cool. And also we have Terron Dewar of 876DNATEST with us as well. Terron, welcome to the podcast.
Man, it's a pleasure being here, man, and having open dialogue with you guys around these issues.
Awesome. Definitely a pleasure having you with us as well on the podcast, with you being one of our first guests. So definitely, I
appreciate that. Yeah.
We have to start off. It's Jamaica. We're starting off with DNA.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Topic, man.
Yeah, man. Definitely. So tonight, as it's a dead giveaway. We're talking about DNA. It's our second time talking about this topic, but this time we have a professional with us in the house, and he's going to give us some insight around DNA testing in Jamaica. And of course, we're going to have a lovely conversation. All right. So we have this gentleman called Simon Sinek. And he always says you always start with why. Right? So we're starting with why tonight. So my first question for you, Terron, tonight is why? Why did you decide to start a company like this? Like, what inspired you to get into the DNA business?
All right, great. So that's an excellent question. So my why is a two-pronged answer, and it all comes from personal experience. So I grew up in the country, and I'm going to say Westmoreland, and I won't say anything else about that, right? and I have a brethren. I grew up with this youth, This man, I know this man's father. This man know my father. You understand?
Yeah.
And years passed, we grew up. I went on to high school, university. His father got ill. He was in the hospital. He needed to do surgery, and then he needed blood. No, it's not that he was restricted from sharing blood, but based on the assessments at the point in time, when they looked at what his father's blood type was and what his blood type was, it was recognized by the medical team that they could not possibly biologically related. Right?
Wow.
Now, my virgin found this out on his father's deathbed, and his father found it out. And the challenge that he had was that he lost his mother 2 years earlier. So his father died with this unsettling, this news on his mind. He has it and he couldn't confront his mother. Left him in ideology limbo. Right? And I can tell you, it's a good version of mine. We've had many conversations about it. Right? That thing changed that youth eternally.
Wow.
No. So I have always had this approach of, when we see problems, if we are some of the best and brightest that the country has to offer, we have to figure out a way of offer solutions and not just talk about it. And then it drove home to me now after I became a justice of the peace. So I just study piece. Most people think just study piece, they just sign documents. It's not true. We do, I mean, if you have an active justice at the peace, you do a whole bunch of things. Prison and jail visits, restorative justice programs, community building. One of my two first mediation cases had to do with family disputes, with paternity matters at the center of it. And that is when I recognize, hold on, these people, what they needed concrete answers, and the way that they would get this concrete answer is through a DNA test. But then when we start to cut the DNA test, one, the people them don't know nothing about DNA tests. Two, it is not something that you know where to go get it. And three, the cost was prohibitive. And I thought, listen, man, if I'm gonna be in this space, helping and mediating people, and I'm interfacing with this thing, I may as well provide the solution to do it. So I thought my approach to things is always social entrepreneurship. So I think entrepreneurship, and then how can that have a social impact? So I developed what I call a social enterprise, and that formed 876DNATEST. And it has been great. I mean, I've gotten great support, and because I'm doing it from a place of good intent is different than how most people approach business, principle first. So we've gotten great support.
Wow, a very interesting story. I can just imagine.
In the inspiration, I might tell me
Yeah, I thought that as well, But good to hear from the person himself. So, it's great that you took inspiration from that, because that's it could have had another adverse effect on you, psychologically, even though it's your friend, right? But that's very good. All right, so. We do have a lot of aspiring business owners that watch this show as well. So I want to ask you, what is the biggest challenge you face starting your own business in Jamaica, and how did you overcome it?
So I'm a sealer and entrepreneur. And if you look on the screen, you see my name is Terron Dewar. This Dewar is a doer.
Yeah.
Yeah, this Dewar is a doer. I just want you to know that. So I throw things on the wall. I come up with ideas and I sit and I throw things on the wall, and one of them will stick. And I'm not very big on being a perfectionist, but I am good at what I call reverse engineering. So there are a few things under the sun that are new. Few ideas under the sun that are new. But what makes them different is slight tweaks and adjustments based on the space and market that they operate in. And obviously, DNA testing company is not new. Any company that matter is not new. But then what then will you be applying to this that is your unique selling point and the value proposition that will make you different from everybody? And I have a talent of identifying that and optimizing it. And that is exactly what I did for 876DNATEST.
Yeah, that unique selling point, and you have to have that hit factor, as I call it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Because this is a very unique thing. I don't know if there's anyone else that does it on the island. But when I heard of 876DNATEST, I couldn't think of another name that I could say is a competition. I'm sure other people do it. But I couldn't think of another name.
Other people do it, and I'm going to tell you something that I probably shouldn't say. But listen, we're here. You might have me here, right? Listen, there are other people who do it on the island, and as I said to you, my strategy is I'm quite good at constructing value propositions. I did what is called a mystery shopper. So I look at the market, and I understand who is doing it, and I picked maybe 2 or 3 people locally. Because they exist in the local space, and then I looked at another 2 to 3 internationally, and I researched it to see what they do, what makes them, what is their unique value proposition, and I list them out. There are some criterias, and I take the best from all of these local and international companies, and these are going to be the minimum standard that 876DNATEST has. But at the minimum, it is the best of all the other companies that exist around the world. And then what then are we going to add to it that makes it the standard, right? And we have a whole bunch of those sprinkling in it. I mean, I know we're having a casual conversation. I won't say some of it because it's largely proprietary and this intellectual property.
No, but
that right there is a framework of what makes a good business. And That is what this one is, a good business.
I really love that. I love
Yeah.
that. And if you are an aspiring business owner, this is definitely something you want to take a page out of his book. So
That's the
definitely
approach.
ensure you're listening and taking notes. All right, so I see that you have 64 locations across Jamaica.
Right.
64 locations. You sure you have enough?
If I have enough, maybe not enough. Maybe not. Maybe
I also
not.
see that you do international testing as well. So if you live in Canada, you live in US, and you don't want that shock and awe when you file for the child, you can do it early.
Yeah, we do a lot of those.
That's amazing as well. So congratulations on that, because not a lot of businesses in Jamaica are able to tap into the international space. So that's amazing. Can you share what that journey was like though? Going international and opening 64 locations. Tell us like how you define success, and is that it's tough.
So as I said to you before, bro, so we never started. That's why I always encourage people, just start. What you need to be doing actually is finding out what doesn't work. Yeah, because it's easier to find out what doesn't work. Yeah, it's easier to find out what doesn't work than what actually works. Right? But once you do something, you know what don't work, you know what not to do again. And you have to get what doesn't work out of the way fast until you figure out what works. And I learned that. So when we started 876DNATEST, my concept was to e-commercialize DNA testing in Jamaica. I notice I said e-commercialize. E-commerce. It's almost like people go online or on social media, order a kit, and you drop ship the kit wherever they are. That was my initial concept, right? Because
like Amazon
literally like Amazon. That was my initial concept. And the reason why I thought that was a way was because I told you earlier when I was doing the mediation cases, I recognized people didn't know enough, so I knew I need to educate them more about the DNA test. They didn't know where to go, and so cost, knowledge, and access were the three things I was trying to solve. So you see us trying to address the knowledge with the research that we're putting out, and I'll tell you a little bit more about that. The costs were the most affordable in the island. And then the access, people didn't know where to go. So we developed these DNA testing kits. I don't know if you can see them.
Yeah, man, I can see it.
Right? So the intention was people would go on our website and order a DNA testing kit, and we would deliver it to them via Beer or Nuxod Express or whatever it is. Right? So B2C, business to client, straight business to client, right? After pushing that out for a couple of months, we recognized, people were interested. They wanted the DNA test. But Jamaica is not fully ready for e-commerce infrastructure as yet. People still have high skepticism around online transactions because of perception of scamming, lack of trust in the society. And then generally, we just don't have a logistical infrastructure to deliver certain things. So it's not like guys are
areas, especially, right?
Rural
areas.
Rural areas. I mean, there's no real, in a lot of instances, maybe 70% of the island is don't have specific address, that sort of thing. And that was a major limitation for the business. And then I discovered through there's a feedback loop that you have to do when you're in business. So it's not just you pushing out your idea to the people. You have to be open to the feedback loop. And in the initial stages, I was the one who manned the phones. Right?
Yeah, head cook and buckle washer.
Yeah, because again, I run a lean operation. You have to understand it. A very lean operation. This is a very large operation. As you'll come to discover, a lot of it is automated. We have AI at work, AI and people at work. You understand? So I kept the communication loop open in terms of being able to talk to people, and I heard what they wanted. They want to go into a location, which told me, okay, well, if this is going to work, I need to serve everybody. So
I was thinking about it. So you want to do the paternity test, but you're doing it at home is really inconvenient, Imagine you're doing some form of test and wife become catch you. So you coming up with a location is a good song.
I hear your thought, I'm gonna tell you the opposite. I hear your thought. Yes. I hear you. Yo, I'm going to give you guys some real insights into how this thing works. So the data that these guys are talking about in the island right now, I will get to it, right? That is just a snippet of a larger adversity report that we have. Now we haven't even released it yet. Like we have gems that can keep you guys talking for months about this thing. Yeah. So you're talking about the cliff notes.
First, a common sense.
No,
No,
Yeah, no, Kommon Cents is going to.
No, hold on, Kemar. We need to talk about the promo code.
Yeah, man, know yourself, man. We
Yeah,
have that.
yo, Q, may I tell you, say, by the time we don't talk Q, the people are going to know so much about insights and trends in DNA testing that we're seeing that people we're not start thinking about them things yet in terms of
I like
how
that.
complex this thing is. Because again, you know, man, we're on social media and we're getting our jokes off, you know, about this thing, but this thing is a real complex thing, you know. Socio-cultural, socio-economic dynamics that is driving this whole thing is a lot,
Right.
you know. So
I love it. But you know what? Let me get through these questions here before we dive into that into those topics.
Tell the people
So you mentioned AI.
Tell the people about the promo code though from start so we can start.
All right. We'll tell the people about the promo code. So promo code is Kommon Cents. So if you use the promo code Kommon Cents, you're getting a $5,000 discount off any DNA test with express results. Right? So this offer is valid until March 30th, 2025. And, you know, you can only get that discount if you use a Kommon Cents promo code. So we're going to put some more information in the description, and I'm going to talk about it a little bit more after we break in a few minutes here. But I wanted to ask 2 more questions, right? Now, you mentioned AI. There's a lot of talk about AI right now, right? There's DeepSeek, and there's ChatGPT, and there's Meta, and all of these different AIs. What role does AI play in your company growth? If you can share that information.
Yes, I'll share some of it. Some of it is proprietary.
Right.
So the first thing is when you go on our website, www.876DNATEST.com. The first thing you'll be greeted with is a AI avatar. She'll pop up. Her name is Dana. And listen to this. D in bracket AINA. DNA driven by AI. Right?
I love it.
Dana is her name, right? The first thing Dana will do is for the people who are averse to reading, or they just don't want to, because you know video drives conversation these days. Dana tells you audibly what 876 DNA test is about. So she said, 876 DNA test is Jamaica's largest and most convenient DNA testing company. We have 64 locations island-wide. You can www.876 DNA.
No, I met Dana.
Right? Dana is beautiful. And Dana can do a lot. Dana has a lot more power that we have not yet released on the market because I'm still testing how much automation the market is willing to digest. You know? So yeah, she can do a bunch of things. She can accept, you can introduce yourself to her, she refer to you by your name, she run you through the what we call consultative approach questions. You select the options you want. She tell you where the location is. You say which date. She book your appointment and then send it up. Dana can handle it all, right? At the current moment, what we're doing is we're testing how much automation the market is willing to handle without disrupting the service standard and the intimate nature of what we're talking about. Because these are real situations. You know, people actually want to tell you what they've gone through, right? And because the services that we offer, they're so wide and people have different complexities. Yeah, AI can handle it, but then they want people who think, understand, feel, because what we do is a consultative sales approach. We don't just tell you what it is. As a matter of fact, you have people who call us and say they want DNA tests and we tell them don't do it. No other company sells anything, tell you not to buy it.
You know, I like how you talk.
Yeah.
No, you know, I've been listening to you. You're the man reason with common sense.
Yes, sir.
And that's why we have to say 876 makes sense.
Appreciate you, man.
Kemar, what is the promo code again? Because people listening
Kommon Cents. But let me spell it for you. It's KOMMONCENTS. All right, that's going to give you a $5,000 discount on any DNA test with express results.
Yeah, man.
All right, so you mentioned something
about result.
Yeah, before you move, Jackson, let's tell them, because this is our very first promo code, you know. We've never ever done this, you know. Is that another Kommon Cents
History in the
exclusive?
making.
Nobody else has it, right?
History.
Nobody else has it. Because we are the most affordable in the island, right? Nobody else has a promo code. We've never done it before. So
We
again, this
appreciate
is
it. We appreciate
especially
it.
from the team at Kommon Cents to you guys. When you reach out to 876 DNA test, and you watch, just tell the team in the contact center Kommon Cents, and they'll hook you up. You know, courtesy of our three brothers here on the screen and my good brethren behind the camera. They'll hook you up with a good discount. Isn't it? Yeah.
That must be the secret. But anyway, go
I love
over.
it. All right, I'm gonna touch on a very touchy subject right now. So, all right. So I wanted to tell us as much as you can share, obviously, because confidentiality, right? What is one of the most heartbreaking stories that you can share about the type of business you do? And after that, you can tell us about the cricketer that found out that he has been fathering children that are not his. So, you know, we'll save that question for after this one. So
Well, the first
answer this
question
one first and then answer
the
the
first
next
question I
one.
have to ask you, William, is who today was a cricketer? Because we didn't call anybody's name. We didn't call anybody's name, right? We didn't call anybody's name. But this business is a business of truth. And it's truth because these results are absolute. You have to understand these results are absolute. There's no in-between answers when it comes to DNA testing, right? At least DNA testing at the level at which we do it, because our lab testing partners are internationally accredited, highest accreditations in the world, right? So if we tell you an answer on a DNA test, that is the answer. That is the absolute truth, right? So the truth is not always easy, as we know. It's necessary, but it's not always easy. Yeah. And it just so that happens that our truth is in the form of telling you your biological connection to family. You know? So this business can be tough. And here at 876 DNA Test, we try not to get incensed to the type of business. Because you know, sometimes you see so much negativity, you can get incensed to the negativity. We understand that we're dealing with people, real people, Jamaicans, our fellow colleagues, families. We understand the impact of the results, and we treat the process and we treat the delivery of the results as such, right? So we never, at 876 DNA Test, a core pillar of how we operate is confidentiality. We never discuss individual clients. What we do is that we report on aggregates and categories. So any of the data and inferences we make can never be linked to an individual person, because we discuss data in categories and aggregates. So, and I know it has been comical and topical about entertainer and sports personality. And these are two broad categories, but we never discuss our clients, ever. You know, and we have access to the best resources in the world. In terms of to protect that, in terms of legal teams, councils, the best resources in the world, best resources accessible.
So Terron, can I say something one more time?
Oh, sure, my brother.
Based on what Terron is just saying, so the man them wanna feel comfortable, but them one them really want people know them business. Just remember the promo code 876 Kommon Cents, and remember, this is just a limited time. So if you want to take advantage of this opportunity, do so and do so quickly.
Respect. So we don't discuss individual clients, but to answer the question you asked, the toughest part of this business, bro, we've seen the truth rip families apart. We've seen the truth be the spark that trigger violence. We've seen the truth change big man's whole perspective of themselves. In terms of them, not only them being a father to children, but them not knowing them father. Like the oldest, so the youngest person alive we've tested is 1 hour old. Because we have mobile lab service, so we go to hospitals and test baby the moment them born. The youngest person alive we've tested 1 hour. The oldest person alive we've tested is 92 years old.
So you tell me as him born him father or no?
Yeah, man, that happened a lot, man. That happened a lot, man. And you see, as people learn about 876 DNA test, as people learn about 876 DNA test and they recognize the credibility and the convenience and all that sort of thing, you know, they really call us, you know. Yeah, man, them call us, man. Them remember, it's not hard to find me, you know, bro. You don't even know. All you need to do is go on your phone and dial 876 DNA test. The name of the company, you can literally call us by our name. The name of the company is the phone number.
It's the phone
Just go
number.
on the phone and dial 876DNATEST. You can call or WhatsApp upon that number. You don't even know a number because I don't know it out of my head.
When I saw that was so genius that you guys did that. Because the
Sir,
name is the
let me tell
phone
you
number. You didn't have to
Sir.
write it 2 times.
That was some of my most strategically surgical work.
Yeah.
And I delve in the strategy realm in terms of that. Because if I tell you how I get that number, you know, because I want next story, you know, how I get that number, you know. Because the holding company named something else. I won't disclose what the holding company is, right?
Right.
But I knew because I'm a policy analyst by training, by education, and a marketer by profession, right? And of course, an entrepreneur. And I knew the holding company name, while it could work, was not going to translate in terms of communicating to the people. So I needed a name. And I came up with 876DNATEST, and I literally sat right here where I'm talking to you right now, and I went on my phone and I touched the keypad. You see the keypad, and I literally went 876DNATEST. What is it come up on the phone?
Yeah.
Literally, right here is what I did.
Wow.
And I went press, and I called the phone, and a gentleman answered. And I said, sir, you know, I used to own this number a long time ago, and I'd like to get it back. And the man said, you used to own this number a long time ago. I said, yeah, man, I used to own this number, man. But long story short, me not kill for time. I have 20 grand for you. Man said, 20 grand. The man said, brother, you know, say, last week, me buy the number for $500 downtown me a pen. And bro, like a godsend, you know, a hospital me. The man say a hospital me, you know. And doctor give me a prescription 3 days ago, you know. And I know me can't buy the prescription. I say, where you there? The man say, me a pen hospital. I say less. Me hang up my phone.
That was it.
Me hang up my phone, brother. And I go downstairs, jump in my car, and I go straight me a pen. Me drive from Kingston, go straight me a pen.
You live up to your name.
I go pick up the chip.
No, the man live up to his name.
The door, eh?
Me tell you something, it's a door, bro. Me tell you this. And I joke, I understand me, I say.
That's a real
Me go straight me a pen, bro. And me stop and me go me a pen, me can't even access the ATM. All the ATM them down. Me drive from ATM to ATM, I pull it, and I go to the hospital, me pen hospital. The youth not ever come out. I show the grill, me give me 20 grand, and the man give me the chip.
Wow.
That's a businessman, man.
Me not even check the chip, but I call the man. Man tell me, man, I show me, I say, yo, that's what I tell you. And I did that, and I went straight ahead. No, man,
It's a pity never knows him could charge you 50.
Yeah, so I mean that would answer the first set of questions that Jackson asked. Like, answer, I know we were venturing into what the business is, but you asked a question for entrepreneurs because a lot of your audience is that. And I'm just telling you, like, it's not perfect, it's not, but you have to be willing to invest thought into what you're doing and then taking action. It may not always work, you know, but I mean, the stars were aligned for this one, my brother. I can't tell you no lie.
There were many cries. There were many cries.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Love it. Loving the conversation. All right, so we're going to take a quick break. But before we do that, I want to ask you last question and just give you a quick answer for now on here.
Mm-hmm.
What is one book or podcast or mentor that impacted your career? What is that one person or one book or?
Well, you say your career. So what I need to disclose is that I have many careers, right? I have many careers. I'm a doer.
That's true.
I have many careers, right? And I've read a lot of books. And I know you want a short answer. So
you want to save it until we come back then?
We probably should. Because it's not a short answer. It's not a short answer.
Let's go for a break. Common sense. Make it make sense. Be right back.